Hello everyone, and today we are going to talk about carbohydrates. This lecture and all the other lectures which I will perform will be based on specific chapters of Langer textbook, which is the course book of MOL200. And this is specifically to bring us on the same page with respect to required knowledge and the questions which may pop in the final exam. The carbohydrate lecture is based on chapter 7 of Langer textbook. The carbohydrates, as the naming says, are very simple compounds which could be stoichiometrically brought into carbon and water. Besides, in spite of this simplicity, carbohydrates are one of the most important class of biological molecules along with proteins and lipids. The familiar to everyone examples of carbohydrates are components of the sugar cake, like starch or cane sugar, sucrose, or major components of plant scaffold, the cellulose. However, carbohydrates play a lot of biological functions which could be brought into three major categories. The energy conservation, energy storage function, the scaffolding function, and the information function. All photosynthetic organisms build organic matter by using energy of sunlight and fixing atmospheric carbon dioxide and water and turning those into organic matter in the form of carbohydrates. And this determines the major energy conservation function of carbohydrates. All non-photosynthetic organisms, including us, are fueled by the oxidation of carbohydrates as a main energy source to run biological processes. As such, carbohydrates are in the root of the biological food chains. Carbohydrates can form large polymers, which determines the second functional domain as mechanical scaffolds. The cellulose, which forms exoskeleton of soft plants, is an example of carbohydrate polymer. Another example is chitin, which forms the skeleton of many invertebrates. The chemical conjugates between carbohydrates and various other biological molecules called glycoconjugates are major components of extracellular matrix, which shapes the mechanical properties of tissues. Likewise, the glycocalyx, which outfits cell membrane, forms a protective layer protecting cells from the extracellular environment. Third functional domain of carbohydrates is their role as signaling molecules and interaction scaffolds. This relies on the ability to form variety of three-dimensional shapes besides the simple composition. In this lecture, we'll start by looking at chemistry and stereochemistry of carbohydrates, and then we'll discuss the various functions.